Okay, so it's January, I don't know, 28th or something like that. And we're gonna, starting to tape it up. We're gonna get on with this here. Hold on. So now it's January, what is it? I think it's the 29th. Auntie Shimei's room, right? What's in there, people? Food storage. I got snowed in, so I haven't been down here doing anything. So now I'm down here. So, get on with business. Hold on. Okay. So with this coronavirus going crazy, making people go crazy, Tisha's on a mission now. I'm proud of my girl. Understanding the purpose of this. So, my son appreciates it as well, right? So, obviously in Auntie Shimei's room. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I got snowed in, people. So I never got down here for almost 3 weeks. Right? So, anytime you do food storage, this is nice and cold. Even though the heat is somewhat coming up through this room, because the wall is facing north. Right? And it's close to a fridge that's pushing off cold air. Right? Because the fridge itself is cold. All these jars are nice and cold, like really cold. However, you want to drape fabric over them to insulate it as if it was a fridge. So I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to put some shelving up here. Right? Andre and I were in the middle of painting his playhouse. So what I'll do is I'll bring up the boards tonight. Why not make it nice in here as best as you can, right? And he can paint them for me. And then once they're painted, then I'll have a couple of shelves in here, right? Which will help to do whatever. And I got up into the other food storage area, and I got Tisha some masks, because apparently all the masks have been sold out on the mainland. Or at least they're starting to be sold out. So if I was to go look for masks right now, I couldn't find them in any kind of hardware store or any place like that. But because I bought mine at the time of Fukushima, and they've been sitting in a box for what, how many years, people? 9 years, right? You know, Tisha was like, oh, I can't get a mask. And I said, hold on, I've got some. Don't worry. So I gave some to my son, 2 different types. The one that goes over, I mean, they're not the gas mask with the whatever, right? But they're you know, they got better insulation, and then those little ones, right? So 2 different types. Something is better than nothing. I'm going to make myself some colloidal, I don't know how to pronounce it, but silver. I have silver bars and coins, and I got copper. And I'm pretty sure I have a 9 volt battery. So we're going to start that little project, people. And I got some sage. Nice and dry. I'm going to burn a little sage in here today. Oh, this came from my yard and it still smells. Oh, it smells so good, people. So hold on. Okay, so it's the next day. I got distracted. Anyway, you can see I took an old, it's kind of like a throw rug, right? It's a weaved cotton. Over a period of time, if you wash, it wears away. So it's quite thick, right? But it's breathable. That's the thing. Huh? And it won't like sweat, right? Because it absorbs, but it insulates the cold. Do you see how that works? Right? So now you've got like a little semi-dark cold room for the most part, because you've got the wall, the north wall, and you've got the fridge, you've got the metal frame, right, which I'm going from tray to tray putting in my paper, so I have to do these right when I get time. And then you tuck it in, and it's nice and cold. I managed to get one shelf up on this wall, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything up on this wall, so maybe what I'll do is I'll put a board here or something, a pegboard or something maybe, and then I'll hang maybe a couple baskets. I could hang like 2 baskets here, right? That would work. And then I can use baskets for maybe something like that. It depends, right? These, I noticed, they don't really like it very cold, right, per se. Look, my potatoes are growing, people. I should be in the yard planting potatoes, though it's warm. So anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working in here as well as, hold on. So now I'm in the original cold room. Same idea, same type of blanket, metal frame, right? This stuff has been here for a while. Andre and I, we eyeballed some vegetable soup, so I'm going to take that out.
I love vegetable soup.
And we found our stop the violence stop signs, right? Here, this looks pretty good. We got some peach marmalade.
What's peach marmalade?
August 31st, 2014. Shows you how much I get down here, people. Anyway, I'm going to bring this out because it will probably be really tasty on what is it called? A waffle with some maybe whipping cream. Here, yeah, take this. I'll bring 2 up. Take it, hurry up.
Because we can make waffles in our new toaster.
And then it has to make waffles or buy waffles. I got a waffle maker. Oh, here. Yeah. So, I don't know, people. Right? With this coronavirus going on, you know, again, it kind of boils down to, I don't have to worry too much. People are already talking about coming to my house.
Why?
Well, if everything shuts down because of the grocery store and stuff, right?
Because you have lots of food.
I have lots of food. That's right.
But do you think that's a good idea?
Well,
I don't.
Can't feed the whole neighborhood, but we definitely wouldn't turn people away. So anyway, Tisha's on a mission now to
My food and
up the ante. Okay, just never mind. Up the ante on this, so that makes me feel good. So anyway, we got marmalade. I don't know. I don't even know what's in these things anymore, people. Right? No regrets. Like, I got a nice can. Oh my god, I got a can here. That's probably... Remember I said I wanted to make spaghetti one day and make the TV dinners? I bet you maybe this is spaghetti. It's heavy.
spaghetti.
I don't know. It's heavy. Yeah.
Oh, we hit the jackpot.
Okay, what?
Man, we hit the jackpot of spaghetti.
Oh, it's a big, one of those big cans. Okay. So, I'm just trying to organize the basement and put up whatever and just get it more, get on with life. Look at that. It's nice and cold. Oh. If you were like had a sore neck, oh, you just hold that on your neck.
How does it feel?
It's nice. Feel.
Actually does feel good.
Yeah, it's very cold. Okay, so Andre and I, we came into a treasure trove of magazines.
Karki has a flashlight.
Hey?
Yeah.
Some old ones. I have other ones. Need to find them.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this.
Huh?
I'm just looking at this book.
Yeah.
Different.
Okay, so now it's February 1st, 2020. I'm up in War Room 2 right now. Look at this, people. Alright, come on. Who has to live their life like this, people? this is where it gets really, really discouraging, because I don't know what I'm doing, first of all. It's just a fraction. Alright, don't forget, I've got those other ones in War Room 1 with the legislation and all that crap, right? Do you see this? Now, mind you, some of it is unnecessary, right? But I'm thinking like this. This is what I'm thinking. If I was a lawyer, right, or an investigator, which a lawyer is somewhat kind of like that, because they, they request documents and, they do research and all that stuff, right? Any little piece of evidence could be something important when you're working on a case. Unfortunately, whatever I'm caught up in, people, is not just simply cut and dry. I mean, there's a progression, we know that. The only reason I am doing this now is because of what happened to Shimei. That is not to say that I still wouldn't be dealing with the Fraser Health and Fraser Health Authority and CIBC Bank with Uncle John, because sooner or later that's going to have to be dealt with, right? It just means that my daughter was murdered and her murder wasn't handled correctly, and there's a lot of cover-up around it for an insidious agenda in terms of illegal organ harvesting. What can I say? Right? But before that happened, people, other things happened in terms of the targeting of my family. And some of that targeting roots back to welfare reform that was brought in from the United States of America through Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton first started it in 19-something? 1997? Something like that. And then when Bush got in, he tweaked it and rammed it home. And then when the Premier Gordon Campbell was elected into this province in 2001, he invited Bill Clinton over for, some sort of a seminar. The two of them hooked up. And then British Columbia, Canada was one of the first, was the only province really, from my understanding, in Canada to bring in American-style welfare reform. And that's basically when it really, really started. But it was before then, the targeting of my family, with the perception that single parenthood is such a bad thing for society, and that, women should be punished for, I guess, not getting married, people. So when you look at it from that perspective, and then you look at as to what type of immigrants are moving into your country and taking over the landmass as your family is being pushed out, political genocide, people. This is what's happening, right? Unless you have lots of money, you're not going to survive in British Columbia, Canada, never mind Canada anymore, because all these people from all these other countries are migrating to Canada and the United States. Canada more so right now because we have open border, right? We have a liberal, Prime Minister who seems to think that everybody is nice, and anybody is welcome into Canada. Well, maybe nice for him because it gets him votes, right, people? But the people who are voting for him, a lot of them are like straight up gangsters that don't have no love for the Canadian people. So I don't know what our Prime Minister is thinking, honest to God, because he's put so many lives at risk, including my family, by opening up our borders and making it so easy where millions of people regardless of who they are and from where they can come from, come to Canada to just say, fuck you, I'm moving in. Right? And because they come in with their different ideologies, you know, many of them are like, they come in with their arranged marriages because they arrange marriages for money. They marry for money first before they do for love. And then once you marry for money, you know, basically, you know, your agenda on your whole relationship is built around acquiring wealth. Right? And let's face it, people, not everybody is honorable. Not everybody goes to work 9 to 5 and comes home and pays their taxes and commits no crimes. And you know, you don't get rich like that, right? You don't accumulate wealth by being a nice person or a nice married couple who married for wealth, to build wealth for money, right? Because where I live, a large portion of the population, you know, that's their mindset, people. If you're an unwed mother, you're somehow less of a person, right? You know, I mean, Catholics do it, Christians do it. You know, it's not just other ethnic groups from other countries. But when you get people coming in with their arranged marriages, or they can't marry until they get the approval of the parents as to who they're marrying, if there was a choice in it, right? Then the politics in the community change, right? And it's like with anything, birds of a feather flock together. So, you know, over a period of years, what happens is you get these pockets of different ethnic groups that have, you know, migrated, implanted themselves into Canada with their own mindsets. And then they superimpose those mindsets onto the surrounding population. And then if you've got your Bill Clintons and Gordon Campbells coming in with their legislation to punish people for being poor, right? You know, then it becomes a free-for-all, people. So that puts your family more at risk to be targeted. And then that's when criminal activity sets in. Right? So that's a lot of what this in here points out, is the systemic ongoing pattern of targeting of my family that at the end of the day has produced heinous crimes against vulnerable young people. Shame, right? In terms of where they actually lose their life, people, and they get no justice because it becomes a cover-up for the bigger crime of illegal organ harvesting. And because I can prove that my family has been targeted, right, I'm going to date it back to 1998 and then show the progression to the point where what happened to Shimei shouldn't be no surprise, because it was already in the making for different reasons. The political part of it, with the politicians coming in with the legislation that punishes the poor people by penalizing them, right? Or the subliminal castorization of being a single parent, and therefore, because of that, the parent needs to be targeted. You know, the family needs to be broken up as an example to show other women, has nothing to do with men. It has to do with chastising women to stay in basically abusive relationships based on the fact that money is being built on the relationship, because that's what the relationship initially started off as a money machine to build wealth, so that at the end of the day, love could be found in all that pile of money, so people can elevate themselves based on money. right? If you don't have money out here in BC, you're a nobody. Nobody cares about you. They see you as a pest to the planet, right? But these same very people that see you this way, they also manufacture what they don't like, people, and that's the thing. And I can prove that with all this paperwork, because when you look at my financial, what is it called? Yearly, over the years, where I was financially, with my finances, you can clearly see that I was being manipulated through government policies, right? Through welfare reform and all those things to basically keep me in poverty, so that mindset where, let's continue to attack Judy's family and Judy, right? Because, she's a single mother, and God forbid, we don't want her to be successful in life, because if we show the public, other girls, that you can be a strong, independent woman, right, as you age, right? And see, this is what I think one reason why nobody did anything for Shimei, because Shimei was strong, she was highly intelligent, she was opinionated, she was just young, she didn't have a chance to mature yet, and if she would have matured and then, being caught up with the shit that's going on, she would have outspoken about it, and that would have been a threat to the establishment. Okay. They want women conditioned to think that they need a man to have a relationship in order to be successful as a woman. That's why they have arranged marriages. The woman gains her self-esteem through her husband and through the wealth that is being built between the two of them as they come into the marriage. They're not going to take a man with wealth and marry him with a woman with no wealth. They're going to look for a woman where the family has wealth, and that's what they do. They pluck them out within their own economical gene pool to partner up two people so that they can keep that illusion of having importance, to keep this particular tradition alive. As they castrate other people, self-esteem wise. Well, why are you not married? Well, I don't know. Maybe I didn't want to get married and be beat. How about that? Right? Maybe I didn't want to get married and have my husband cheat on me for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Right? No woman is obligated to be with a man that cheats just because somebody else said so and their religion tells them to stick it out to the bitter end. That's the definition of marriage. Right? No. I wanted a monogamous relationship. The men I was with didn't want to give it to me. Or maybe it was something else I didn't like about them. Maybe they had a crooked dick. I don't know. I just know that I am here in the now, and I'm still being ostracized and criticized and mistreated by my general community because I'm a single parent. And I can prove that, people, with this paperwork, because it's a systemic attack so that others can elevate themselves off of your demise, because that's basically what's happening. Right? And poverty is manufactured. I can show this here. Shimei should have been done with school in 2016, people. She should have been a registered nurse in 2016. But because of the medical kidnapping of Uncle John, everybody in the house the day after we realized that Uncle John was gone, that he disappeared, right? Everybody in this house wanted to die. Think about that, people. We had already gone through with we wanted to die with Andre when Andre disappeared in a daycare setting of all places. And then my kids were mistreated for over 15 months, being criminalized as freaking teenagers who worked at McDonald's for over a year and a half or whatever it was, serving 2,000 homeless people a day. Well, 1,000 homeless people a day. The other 1,000 were regular customers. Right? As I got fucking social workers playing games with my kids, you know, having us running around doing criminal checks. As Andre starving himself, not talking because he wants to come home. 15 fucking months. You don't think nobody ever wanted to die when all that shit was going on? Fucking right. And then we get Andre back, and then what happens? Less than a year. What? 9 months, 10 months later? All of a sudden, Uncle John goes missing? Everybody woke up the next day and wanted to die. That's your healthcare system, people. That is Fraser Health Authority's healthcare system. I came across a little article about, oh, well, gee, Fraser Health is going to feed the old people better. Huh, isn't that just wonderful news? Well, let me tell you something. The only reason they fucking feed them anything is because they want to dope them up with their OxyContin pills. With or without their knowledge. With or without their consent. Okay? Because the healthcare system is completely out of control. And Shimei is proof of that. If it's not Uncle John. So anyway, I don't want to drag this out because I'm pissed. I'm pissed off, people. Because I shouldn't have to live my life like this. Right? I shouldn't. My life, I've said it before, has been destroyed. Okay? Because I have to live my life like this unless, of course, you know, I just let everything fall off to the fucking wayside so these real criminals in our community with their arranged marriages or whatever they fucking do, because they somehow seem to think that they're so much better than everybody else in society because they got money. They married for money. They waited till their parents approved that it was okay to marry that man. But you had to have money first. Right? So they can basically go around harvesting who they think is less than below them. And that's why I'm doing this. Because they're harvesting us, people. They're harvesting us. They've been harvesting my family for a long time. And I can prove it. I can prove it through my financial statements. It's not like I haven't tried to go out there and fucking do shit. Right? And the thing is they're doing it to thousands. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people in the United States of America. It is manufactured poverty that is the problem. It's not the people. It's manufactured poverty, which is the problem. And that's being done through our politicians that bring in shady fucking legislation that nobody follows anyway, unless, of course, it benefits them. They only follow the legislation when it benefits them. When it doesn't benefit them, they break laws. Right? If there was no benefit to have Shimei's body taken to the freaking morgue and have a forensic autopsy with the cops standing around witnessing it because it was a murder investigation. The cops weren't interested in finding out who murdered Shimei. They didn't care about that, people. All they cared about was drooling at the bit with how much money they were going to pocket with her organs. And that's why they rushed her off to the fucking hospital. Dead. And that's why I'm here. Okay, just remember that. I got a few more months left before I have to file a lawsuit, with or without a lawyer. I've got Tommy out there talking about he's going to start some fundraiser with the hoodies and the t-shirts. I told him to pick whatever he wants to pick, for now, because I'm too busy. I know what I want for a t-shirt or a hoodie or wherever, whatever. I know what I want, but I have to do something on the editor to get what I want. And even then, I'm not very creative with those types of things. I'm sure Tommy, whatever he decides to put up, right, for a t-shirt with Shmay or a hoodie will be great, right? And then from there we'll build on with that, because, you know, I was told I have to come up with 50 grand to get a Canadian lawyer out here, people. Just to get a lawyer to fucking listen to me. To get a lawyer be willing to take the retainer, you know? If you make the retainer tempting, right? 50 grand, it will be hard for a lawyer to turn away 50 grand. But the thing is, if it's going to take 50 grand to get a lawyer, and that's the only way you can get a lawyer to fucking help you in Canada, as in a Canadian lawyer, you have to ask yourself, what kind of help are you really going to fucking get when you've already been shot in the foot with the manufactured poverty? I should qualify for legal aid for what they did to Shamay's body in the hospital. But do you understand? Legal aid won't provide me a lawyer because they want to cover up what Fraser Health Authority and their fucking staff did to another family member when it relates to me. Because they don't want the public to see how confident a single woman who raised children basically by herself for whatever reason. Maybe I just like being alone. Men take energy. You have to pamper men, right? I couldn't have a man in my life right now, even if I wanted to. I'm raising small kids. Where's my energy? I'm still looking after damaged children of my own who have to struggle every fucking day without their sister being here with no justice. How can you work on a nonprofit for 20 years, be around all this fucking wealth that's out here, and be absolutely nowhere with it? Manufactured poverty, people. There's a reason for that. And if you notice, the scandal is piling up. More scandal, right? Sierra, scandal. Andre, scandal, right? Uncle John, scandal. Shmay, scandal. Like, how much scandal can a nonprofit take? Well, maybe because it's manufactured poverty, because if you notice, all that scandal relates to somebody else. It doesn't directly relate to me. I'm not the one who murdered my daughter and then turned around and hauled her ass out of here and harvested organs. Somebody else did that. I'm not the one who medically kidnapped Uncle John by feeding him good Fraser Health food, as I was illegally and, you know, underminingly doping him up so he didn't realize what the fuck was happening with him until he got to the other side and woke up and said, oh, everything's weird. But, you know, my brain is still so fuzzy because they got me so doped up, I'm not even really too sure where I am. I'm not the person who did that, people. I'm not the person who got all off and started, like, you know, like a fucking fix, running into a daycare, snatching out a 28-month-old baby who, you know, had no reason to be taken from that situation, and then stressed out to the point where the child completely fucking shut down. I'm not the person who did that, people. And if you look at it, it all relates to money. Andre, money. Foster care, money. He was designated as a problematic child. How much money was that foster care making a month? $3,000 a month? Was he a level 1, level 2, or level 3? Probably put him at a level fucking 2. Oh, he stopped eating. He's a level 2. Oh, he won't talk. He's a level 2. Money. Uncle John, money. Shmay, money. Right? And if you notice, they're all right, and I'm wrong. Everybody there with their money, give me that money, I want that money, they're all fucking right, even though they're the ones that caused the greatest harm. Imagine yourself sitting home and then going to go pick up your grandchild, and the grandchild's just fucking gone. Imagine going to the hospital to go see somebody that you love, and they're just fucking gone. Imagine waking up in the morning thinking everybody's fine and everything's going good for the day, and your day, you're looking forward for your day, and then not even 2 hours later, your daughter's dead. And then imagine all those people that are supposed to help you fucking just argue with you. Social workers arguing with you. Judge arguing with you. Right? In terms of Andre. Everybody argue. 15 months, that's all they did. Argue. Uncle John, argue. Social workers. A British fucking brown social worker that wasn't even from this fucking country. Sitting up there arguing with me. Well, John's going into convalescent care by any means necessary. He's never going back home. Why, bitch? Why? Why can't Uncle John come back home? Because his sister was stealing his money as they were doping him up to do it. For money. We already know it cost, $500,000 to keep a dead body on machine for 9 days? That's on the books, people. Only she's not listed as dead, right? Because, they had to fake the funk in order to be able to get $500,000 worth of tax dollars going into the Surrey Memorial Hospital. But another $500,000 for selling her organs? Shemay's a hot fucking commodity with all these rich fucks out here, right? Who marry for money. Money. So anyway, I'm just pacing myself through my days. I'm not spending a lot of time on videos right now because, there's just things I want to get done with. And Andre's been like, Nana, we should be outside. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I should be outside working. The weather's been warm enough for me to do that. But I can't, people, because this is my life now. It's been reduced down to fucking binders. Because if and when I ever get a lawyer, the lawyer, might need something from there. That's what I'm thinking. Because for me, if I take it to court by myself, whether I have 5 pages or whether I have 5,000 pages, it's not going to matter. Because the courthouse is corrupt. We already know that. Right? Because they're working together. Right? We're talking $1 billion fucking budget when it comes to Fraser Health Authority. Right? And that's not including their food that they feed the elderly. Right? When I seen that, because, they're trying to make it look like they're looking after the old people so good. And when you walk in my shoes, and otherwise, yeah, maybe 90% they're looking after so good, but the other 10%, they're preying on them, and the government is ignoring it, completely fucking ignoring it, and trying to fucking hide it. And when it gets to court, finally, Uncle John said, fight for him, I fought for him, take it to fucking court, and what happens? The judge fucking covers it up. More than one judge covers it up, people. So you can go in with binders full of fucking paper. If they want to cover it up, they're going to cover it up with their funky case law. You come in with the facts. And they cover it up with funky case law that has nothing to do with what you're trying to do. So yeah, manufactured poverty. This is what this is, right? Why am I spending money on ink or anything? Why should I have to, people? If we lived in such a great country with great laws and a great justice system, why would I even have to do this? Why? Because we don't. That's the point. We don't. So, anyway, I'm just a bag of nerves. Right? And I'm trying really hard just to focus this out. But as you'll see, I'm also working in the basement. And, I'm trying to be a grandma to Andre And, you know, we've been working on that playhouse so it's more gender appropriate, right? So he can have it with his, like, Ninja Turtles and his Lego and his army dudes and that type of thing. He wanted to leave the piano there, right? Because of anti-Chimay. Because he doesn't have much left of anti-Chimay. So, and the kitchen. So, in the little playhouse, we didn't paint over the kitchen part, and we didn't paint over the area where the piano is, although I did tell him that at some point I can go back in at a later date with a fine paintbrush, and I can paint the ottoman, that's probably a pink or something like that, into a blue or purple or brown or whatever, right? I mean, I can change a few things in there just to soften the room, I guess you could say, people. Point is, you know, I'm still having to look after a family. I'm raising a family all over again. And when I raised my family, people, I didn't have to do this shit. I thought my family was safe. I thought when my children were young, like Andre's young and Amari's young, and, you know, I don't look after Alea May, but I'm there for her, right? You know, when mine were young like that, people, I never thought that there would be such a day coming when, you know, families were going to be, like, literally preyed upon to the point where half of them disappear or die, and then it gets to the point where they're actually literally being harvested like cattle, like a piece of meat. It makes you wonder what they're doing with these organs. Are they really transplanting all these organs into other human beings, or are they doing something else with them?